So a lot of times whenever I'm bed fishing and the fish aren't super aggressive, like trying to guard the bed, like picking stuff up off the bottom, I'll take a bait that, like this 13 Fishing Invader right here, that has a little bit of water resistance, and use a real light weight, like a 1/4 ounce, and I'll put it right in front of their face and hop it, and then that weight will fall away from the bait, and then the bait will kind of flutter in front of their nose, and a lot of times they'll just react to it and suck it in without even knowing what they did. So one of the most important things about trying to, like, I guess you could call it force feeding a bed fish, is you have to have super accurate casting. Like, you have to have the bait, like you have to have your line almost draped over that fish's nose. And whenever you get close to that fish's mouth, you want to hop it. And then you have to keep your line, your rod tip high, so your line's going at the correct angle, so that, you know, whenever, you don't want to be laying on the bottom, because when you hop it, it's just going to pull it across the bottom. So you got to really manage your line going right across that fish's nose and be casting extremely accurately in order to even put it in position. And then you got to have a fish that, you know, will stay put long enough for you to get all that stuff. So it's a constant struggle of trying to get all the ingredients right to make that work. But it works whenever you get everything lined up correctly. Finally. Had to wait till he got in the right position and hop it up, and he sucked it right in. Pretty one. They're just spawning all up on the backside of all this grass on them super shallow spots. They're like this deep. It's actually kind of surprising how shallow they are with the kind of water clarity we have. Whenever I'm trying to place this bait before I'm going to try to hop it towards their mouth, I want it to be like 6 or 8 inches past the fish. You want it to be a little bit further the deeper you are. So if the fish is super shallow, you can be a little bit closer. If it's, you know, deeper, you want to be a little bit further away, you know, far away from the fish. And then it's kind of just like a reaction. Like if I threw something at you, you're going to put your hands up and try to catch it. Well, a fish doesn't have hands, so they have to open their mouth and try to catch it like that. That's the way they react to stuff. So all you want to do is just make the most accurate cast you possibly can make, line everything up correctly, and then get it as close to their face as you can. And whenever you hop it, all they have to do is react to it by opening their mouth. When they open their mouth, they have like a vacuum that actually sucks it in. So, you know, it makes it where you do all the work, all they gotta do is open their mouth, and they accidentally suck the bait in. So the times where I'm gonna look to try to force feed that bedfish is, just like what we have right now. The fish have just pulled up to spawn. They're just now making beds. You're seeing some on bed, but you're not seeing very many females. These males are not protecting one little bitty tiny spot. When that female pulls up and she lays eggs in the bed, there's going to be one small spot where when you put your bait in that spot, they're going to come over, pick it up, and, you know, try to get it out the bed as soon as they possibly can. Before that's the case, before there's any eggs in these beds, the fish are going to act a little bit more skittish, a little bit more, you know, not as interested in where your bait is at actually in that bed. They're not going to try to move it nearly as much. So that's whenever you want to, if you can find one that'll stay put, that's whenever you want to try to force feed one of these fish. But, you know, it's the times where that fish is not reacting the way you want him to your bait just sitting in that bed. This is the adjustment that you have to make.
Got him! Got him! Hold him! Woo! Watch that trolling motor. Attaboy. Verify this illegal catch.
Can't verify it now.
I see it. I'll give you credit. Don't throw it back.
He ain't no little one.
No. Geez, little nigga. They got good geese up here.
Just gotta mess with him. Got him to bite a bunch of times. Like I said, they're early right now. They ain't super committed to protecting because there's no eggs in any of these beds, but get you a bite every now and then.